I came from Ballyfermot in Dublin. Not a great place at the time. Maybe it's changed, or maybe it hasn't. I don't know. I was always interested in technology, studied engineering, all very interesting things, but never really got that kick out of them. Always on computers, always playing games, got kind of bored, always looking for something but could never find it. And when I least expected it, just out in the garden, I started to develop an interest in plants. I'm 40 years old now, and at the age of 30, I had absolutely no interest in plants, nature, anything. But all of a sudden, I just got hooked. When you start to propagate plants, or you start growing vegetables, or you start keeping chickens or bees, you just naturally start to connect with nature. That connection calmed me. It made me more peaceful, and the more I did it, the more I learned. It's so beneficial to get in touch with nature in some way. It's time to drop the phones and learn how to do nothing. We've forgotten how to do nothing. Every time we sit down, we can't just sit there and do nothing. We need a phone, and that's not good for the mind. The mind needs to rest. So I learned meditation interests me, but meditation, just sitting down and doing this, I get kind of bored. But meditation doesn't have to be doing this. Meditation can be just getting so interested in something that you forget about everything else. Getting interested in propagating plants, getting interested in growing your own food, or keeping your own animals, or developing a relationship with nature and animals. It's so endless. There's such a gratifying feeling from getting in touch with nature. I was here one day, actually, this is a true story, about 1 year ago, and the war in Ukraine began, and over here in Ireland we had a lot of Ukrainian people come over. So we're on Valentia Island here. There's not many people around. Very, very nice community, but then we had some Ukrainians around the place. I found myself here beekeeping one day, and next of all I see a family passing, and a guy started waving to me, and his name was Anton, and we became friends. We're two beekeepers, and we became friends, and we talked a lot about bees, and we talked a lot about nature and plants and all sorts. We developed a friendship, and recently enough, Anton came over to me and he told me about this idea. The idea was so strange but so interesting at the same time. The idea is that if you sleep on top of beehives, then you start to feel the energy from the hive, and there are healing properties to this. There's a sound, there's a vibration, and there's a smell. And over in the Ukraine, they've started this long lost kind of a healing, therapeutic kind of a treatment. That's what interested me about this. It's referred to as bee beds or even apitherapy. There's lots of different names on it. But the idea is that you go into a lovely, very natural cabin and you lie down. Underneath you is a couple of 100,000 bees. Now obviously the bees aren't allowed to go in and sting you to death, because that wouldn't be very relaxing and wouldn't be good healing. So the bees' entrances are outside, so the bees come and go naturally, but you're lying down on a nice flat timber bed and you will feel the heat coming from these bees. I suppose it would be only a lot of beekeepers that would know the hum of the beehive. When the beehive is busy and full, there's a vibration to it. There's a kind of a heat off it, and there's a kind of a healing property that's transferred into the body. I've never tried this, but I've done a lot of reading about it, and it completely makes sense. You're in the beehive, there could be a couple 100,000 bees. The hive is like one. If you knock on the hive, you'll get one sound, not 200,000 or whatever. So there's an energy from that amount of bees. There is an energy, there is a magnetic or electric field that comes off them. There's also a heat being generated, and also the smell of the hive. There's healing properties in that. So if you can picture yourself in this beautiful cabin, which is going to be here where I'm standing, myself and Anton are just building it right now. A beautiful cabin, everything very natural, all very natural wood inside, very calming. And you lie down on your bed. The air coming into the cabin is fed through the beehive. So you're getting the smell of all the things in the beehive. And what is smell? Smell is like the particles of things. So if you smell propolis, or you smell even, let's say, alcohol, there's particles in the air. So we're feeding, the air is coming through the hive, the bees are fanning it and out and in to the cabin. So you're getting this healing smell. Now you're feeling the vibration on your back. You're feeling the energy coming off the bees. So there's a lot of things kind of, how would you say, exciting the senses. You've got sound, you've got smell, and you've got feeling. And from long research, actually princes and royalty and stuff used to sleep on the bees to help them cure themselves of all kinds of ailments. Another one I heard was they did it when they didn't have much time to sleep, so they slept on the bee beds. Now, an hour on the bee beds is like 8 hours rest. So when you lie down and you free your mind and just relax, it's like a kind of a meditation. You're lying on the bees, you're just relaxing, you're listening to the sound of the bees, you can feel the bees, you can smell this. This is super, super healing. And when Anton started explaining this to me, it started to make sense. And I said, we have to do this. We have to do this for ourselves, and we have to do this to show everyone the healing properties that bees have. So here we are now. We just started digging the ground, and we're going to build the most beautiful bee hut. We're going to fill it with bees, and you're going to be able to come here to Valentia Island and lie and sleep with the bees. It's going to be great. They've just brought out the skelligs. The skelligs are out for the season now. So come to Valentia Island and try out the bee beds. They're not ready yet, but they will be soon.